let's shift to the state budget. Republicans, as you mentioned, control the entire state government, the Assembly, the Senate, and the governor's office, and yet they're unlikely to meet the June 30th sort of deadline for getting a state budget together. What are the main stumbling blocks left to overcome?
Yeah, so I'd say transportation remains the most serious one. They are differing, the Senate and the Assembly, on education right now as well. But I talked to John Nygren today, who's the leader for the Assembly of the Joint Finance Committee. He says, as did Robin Vos, the Speaker, that they believe that they can reach a deal as early as next week on education, that they're starting to make some headway there. But they both said that transportation remains very elusive, and they pretty openly acknowledge they're not going to meet the June 30th deadline. I think the question is, how much past that deadline do we go? If it's only a short period of time, it's really not a very serious problem at all for the state. If it stretches out into the fall, then it really complicates road projects, for one thing, and it becomes perhaps more of an image issue for Republicans as they try to explain to the public how they are unable to pass a budget even though they control all the state government.
Is there anything the legislature needs to do to make sure the state stays in business in the interim, or does the old budget, the current budget, simply continue?
Right. So very, very different than the federal budget. They're very different than many states. I should say very different from many states which shut down if they don't have a budget. Here in Wisconsin, the old budget just continues at the current funding levels, and so the state can continue on doing most of what it does. It gets tricky for things like transportation because there'd be no new authority to do any borrowing. So some projects eventually could face delays, but on July 1, it's not like you can't go to the DMV or something. Right. Things are pretty status quo for
not that
at least
I
for the
would
summer.
ever want to have to go to the DMV. But, at any rate,
the
thanks so
last
much.
time I had to renew my license, it wasn't as bad as you think it would be.
No, actually, DMV in Wisconsin is very good compared to other states I've lived in.